Seriously? Really? Oh my gosh. Anyway, here I am. We'll talk about this in a minute, but we seem to have a vertical live stream. Not sure why. Anyway, who's here? Hi, Stuart. Hi, William Henry. Good to see you. You're early this morning. Peter Noddle, g'day. Mark Shed Talk, hello. Adam Carmichael, g'day. Adam's in the bath, just in case anyone missed the bubble bath thing. Adam's in the bath. Bill, g'day. Katana, g'day. We worry about you. Katana, if you become a regular, you do know that the absolute minimum is a flat cap. And you're probably going to end up owning a steam engine or something. But anyway, Kevin, g'day. Machine NZ. David Bellani from Spain, hello. Adam in the bath, g'day. Now, I've updated this tablet. I set this stupid thing up as a horizontal live stream because it's the way I like it. Let's rework that, Dan. Dan Shed, g'day. Let's rework that. Who doesn't own a flat cap? That's where we're going with that. That's the question you need to be asking. Mark Osborne, good day. You guys make me laugh. There's still time, Peter. Still time. This workshop is not a whole lot more organised than it was last week, to be honest. My live stream hasn't killed itself. It is in vertical mode, and I don't know how to fix that because you can't fix it once you start streaming, which is really stupid. And if I tip this over, it says orientation is locked, rotate device back. I'm not sure why it does that. It gives me all the chat up the wrong way. So I'm moving it back. So I'm not sure why that is. I'm not convinced that that's really a good thing. Anyway, I think I'm probably going to trade this tablet up. I think that's probably the only way is go to an Apple product. I know you all hate that, but there you go. Dan's got a Mammoth T1. I can one up that. I've got a Kenneth Wells. Dan's like, and some others. So, we've sort of done some cleaning up, right? This bench has been moved. So it's right in the middle and it's in the way. It's a bit of a pain. But it's full of boxes full of small parts and things that need to go away or get tossed. And we're downsizing that. So I've emptied that box over there. See that box over there? That's empty. That's an empty box. So we did do something. Also, if you have a look here, there is a little bit of clean bed space. It's not a very big one. It's just in there. Just in there. But we have done stuff. Don't look in the cupboard here. So, yeah, that's what we've done. How was my weekend? How was everyone else's weekend? Saturday night. I work Saturday, mostly because I need more money and it was raining. Saturday night I went to Dan's, slept in the van, which was awesome. And Sunday we finished the shed. There we go. We finished the shed. There's no doors on it, but the weather wasn't real good. But we did get all the tin on the last wall, which is a bit exciting, and some like a little bit of flashing and stuff on. There's not much more to do really. It's all little jobs, but the wall's done. Very good curry cooked on the open fire, a campfire. Very good curry. Missed out. Anyone who wants to road trip to Shenandoah, you should do it because the curry's worth the money. Absolutely, the curry's worth the money. We haven't dropped out yet tonight. It's really good. So, anyway, that's what I did. Some burnt sausages. They weren't burnt really. They were only a bit crispy on the outside. I was hungry. The pan was a bit thin and the fire was a bit hot. And there was only a steam engine. So I cooked the sausages. Dan cooked the curry. The curry wasn't terrible. And I come home Sunday night, which is probably just as well because pictures of the bridge on Monday morning were probably over the road, so I would have had to go round. Anyway, that was Sunday. Monday I spent... What did I do Monday? Anyone remember what I did Monday? Not very much. I did at some point do some cleaning up in here. And I also did a little bit more to this particular board. So that board's sort of coming along. It's still only rough outline. Yeah, someone's lost a tree and it's across the bridge. So there we go. Anyway, the windmill's starting to look like a windmill. We're not going to go to sort of... The windmill still needs quite a lot of work, but we did put some clouds in, which I think are pretty good clouds, really. And we put a little bit of shading on here, and we went for a sort of a darker blue on here, and it's coming along. We hadn't thought about boiler wood for the firewood, but it's sort of across the bridge. It's probably been pulled out or cut down by now, I would say. Anyway, the windmill's on its way. Like, if we can get this nicely finished. And the other one, which I have the artwork here for somewhere, no idea where. Anyway, this is a job I did on the weekend, so I'm pretty excited about that. This is starting to come together. There's a fair bit of work in that, and this isn't a representation really of the colours in it, but it will come together. Tea and biscuits, g'day. Anyway, that's one job. The Polly Bridge Yowie is a fictional character, by the way. Don't for a minute think that there's actually such a thing. I don't believe it's such a thing. It could be real, but I don't think. I think it's one old mate who lives down the road who went skinny dipping and got caught. I think that's what actually happened with the Yowie story. I don't think there's actually a Yowie there. at some point, I'm sure someone will investigate properly, but they haven't done yet. It could be Graham. I can't imagine Graham skinny dipping. G'day, Bill. While I'm cleaning up here, I've got bits, like these steam engine bits anyway. And this very, very filthy, dirty bench here that needs a good sweep off when we get to the bottom of it. We're going to get this bench clear and all the stuff that's off it put away or given away I've got rid of. Dan is at a remarked lack of hair, to be honest. And the places Yowies usually have hair. This sitting here on the bench, this is really nice. We should have some more lights in here. The lights are a bit dark. Anyone knows the dark's a bit like that? Anyway, this knife, this is a Bill Baggins kitchen knife. Now, I owe him a job for this, so it's going to happen fairly quickly. Now everything's sorted. But we'll get it back to him. But this is a Bill Baggins knife. This is beautiful. I don't think he's making them at the moment. He's in hiatus, or he's on holiday, or he's decided that knife making doesn't pay, or he'd rather make plastic models or something like that, and that's okay. But this is very nice. Just thought everyone should see that. Anyway, that's here in the workshop too. It shouldn't be. It should be actually in the kitchen, but it hasn't happened really. Anyway, see, this is the stuff I've got to contend with. Mark, this is what we ended up with. I didn't left this out to show you. This is what I actually had as far as drain cocks on the roller when we started. Right, with the bits I replaced. So they're a bit terrible. Gives you some idea. This bit was broken and welded at some point, and this has been replaced with a new casting. This bit was fabricated and welded at some point, and that's been replaced with a new casting too. In this box, which we're putting away, there's a box of casting bits, right? I'm going to turn this light on so we can actually see stuff. Whoa, how cool is that? In this box, here's a dud casting that we're throwing back. This one goes to Mark when we've done it. This is on this list of things to do. There are these that Mark needs for his roller. I've got them on mine now. That's the proper levers. Right. There's a friend in Melbourne who needs one of these, so that's got to be cast. I've got to cast two of them because one of them goes with the other casting. And there's some bits of aluminium and stuff in this box too to go away or to go back down there, and jobs and things that we're working on. So this is the foundry box at the moment. All the foundry jobs are going in there. And it's down there on the floor, which is a lack of other places to put it. I want to get rid of this table and get two shorter cabinets, one about this tall to go where I'm standing, right, just here, and one over there in the corner, which can be as tall as we like, and to put stuff on, and then get rid of this, and then we should have a whole lot more space in here, to be honest. Pretty happy about that. We have a solenoid if anyone has any use for one. I don't at this point, but it looks like something's too good to throw out. We probably can't keep it. There's Chirpy. Very good video from Chirpy this week. You should check that out. It's awesome. Anyone who wants to look at foundry and woodworking tool stuff, Chirp had a good video up. The floor drobe, yes. Did this side of the sign box, which hasn't really been done for a long time. There's been nothing on this side of the sign box since I painted it blue. And got in and did finish that, which sort of, you know, colour's a bit washed out, but it's cream with a ivory, I think they call it. I can't believe that, Dan. That's very difficult to believe. Anyway, I did that, and sort of making progress on this end. I don't know. We're getting there. This one sort of got number one on it. I was sort of going to gold leaf the number one, like do some decent engine turn gold in it, but I sort of got discouraged about it. It was going to be too late before that went off enough to put leaf over it. So I'm just going to do something with shading and stuff. So that's done. That's another job. Why number one? Well, I'm certainly not number two, am I? If you're happy with being number two, well, probably you should be promoting your stuff. Very good question, Tea and Biscuit. Very good question. One of those questions with no real answer. Second is the first loser. That's right. We don't do second. This week I'm feeling like I could be a winner, but we'll see. It's probably too early to find out, but I'm feeling like that anyway. For reasons. I should have put number 4 on it. Yeah, never thought of that. Now, some more bits and pieces over here that we should look at. Now, some of you may have noticed this isn't a project because you're all well and truly aware that I have more projects than I can possibly handle without making any new ones. So this isn't a project. It's just a cool design process. The Hopkins gas engine. There's a 3D printed base for it, and everyone says it's not a project, so it's not. But that's sort of what the base looks like in quarter size. I did not put my hand up for any automobile made by any company, including Dodge Brothers or DeSoto. So just so you know, that's not going to be a thing. Dan's in a strange town with a Facebook Marketplace ad, and he gets a bit weird about it. But anyway, hopefully he doesn't buy any stupid shit. Anyway, that's sort of what they'd look like. And that's quarter size, which is 1.25 inch bore. That would make a fairly nice little engine one day, maybe. Not going to happen. Like, seriously, it's not going to happen. I've got other stuff to do. We all know that. Journeyman Randy, g'day. Maybe this one works. So, Tea and Biscuits asked quite rightly about this, and everyone else is asking the same questions. What we have here is a chime whistle for a steam engine, which there's been some discussion about because Fridge or Dan Shed made or bought one out of America, which for reasons doesn't work as correct as it could. Not sure why that is. I've suspicions about it, but it's probably steam flow, I think. It's got a small pipe on it. That could be some of the reasons. The other reason is that it's aluminium, so we could have condensation or it might not be warmed through. It's also got fairly small tubes in it, so probably the flutes are a little bit higher pitched and a bit more fussy about steam pressure and temperature. There are reasons it may not work. And if you illuminated the mold, maybe it would work. But I'm not really an expert. In a very large pipe, that's exactly right. So, at some point in the previous 12 months, I have promised a decent chime whistle for the steam sawmill. Mostly because I really like this project, and it's another thing that sort of started as it being a non-project and then ended up maybe being a project. So this casting's pretty simple, right? Make it in 2 bits, machine it together and run a bit of silver solder around it to hold, put this bridle in here and then machine it. Nice tolerances on the top and bore that. So that doesn't need a core or anything. That's something that can be made fairly easily and would be very excellent. The issue with this is about half scale model. I think it's 60%, something like that, or 40% or something like that. The full size one's like 9-inch diameter, or in real money, that's two hundred and 225 millimeters, something like that. So, whereas this is about 90, this will be sort of this big. So there's some serious pattern making involved and quite a lot of brass. This one in particular, because it's hollow, you can't, there's some challenges in this. You really got to make five hollow core boxes to make 5 sodium silicate cores of different lengths with the correct ends on them. And then you make probably a sodium silicate core or moulding, which you sit in the sand, and then put the 5 cores in it, and then mould the outside on the pattern and sit down over it. So you've got a space between it to fill up with. One core box would probably work, but these are only, what, 1/4 inch or something. 6 mil, 5, 6, 7 millimeters. These veins are only that thick. So it might be better to make something with like pyramid shape or tapered plugs in the bottom so you can sit them all in individually and get them all lined up nice. And then, yes, you could do this in one core, but the likelihood of you getting it mixed up is 5 times greater. And they don't transport as well. So I'm sort of feeling you might get core float. That's a very valid point. You could put pins in them. Anyway, we will be in touch with that one on Chirpy when I get something drawn up or whatever. Make a start on it. But making separate cores for that's a little bit tricky. I've got a guy who's raring to get to cast this for me. I was going to fabricate it. I had every intention of making this up out of steel tube and flat plate and TIG welding it up. But I have someone who's pretty keen to have a go at casting it, so we might think about that a bit more. But when it's this diameter and this tall, it's a fairly big casting. I've got no idea whether this would work as a whistle. I don't have a compressed air source to set it up, and by the time you make up the centre bar to hold it all together and stuff, I'm honestly not sure. I don't think that'll take as long. I don't think that's as much as you think, because yes, there's a huge big tube, right? It's about, I think it's 2.5-inch thread on it. So it's a huge big tube, but it's only got a gate valve, like a seat on here. That only has to feather a little bit to let the steam in. So what it works on is volume rather than quantity. So I'm not sure it uses as much steam as you think it does. It's got some volume there, which it needs, and steam expands, so it needs the volume to work, and I believe that. But I don't think it uses as much steam. Volume isn't really quantity, no. The steam on this side has a lot less volume than the steam on this side because the valve's shut. So this is compressed. This is cooled and open to the atmosphere. So it's expanded quite considerably. So there's probably 40 times more volume on this side than this side. You can't get the volume without the flow, but you're not getting condensation, and you're not just getting fast steam running past too, because you've got the diameter. So I'm not sure this is going to use as much steam as we think it is. Very interesting discussion on chime whistles. The interesting thing about this discussion, and the thing that boggles me a bit, is that while this is an interesting discussion, nobody in this chat, including myself, is any way qualified to have any input into it. So very cool, but we'll see. That's about the only way, is to make one. Work out how to do that, sketch something up, and send him to Chirpy and see what he says, because he's a casting guru. Well, yes, we're only running 40 psi, so that limits it too. But there's no way that... See, this chamber has a plate over the top with only a knife edge here that's 1.6, 1.2 or something millimeters opening here, all around the edge. So, yes, it's limited, but your expansion, it's still going to be 5 times. I just don't think that this uses as much steam as we think it does. But Chirp, I'd like to see that pattern. And worst case scenario, we can fabricate something up out of plate. That's doable. Anyway, that's the exciting things that are happening. Not really. It might, but if you've got a decent big chime whistle like this, you're not going to be hanging on it for weeks. Like, you're not going to be opening it up for 20 minutes at a time, or even 3 minutes at a time. I reckon you're going to get 25 seconds with it open is going to be enough. Brendan Gill, good day. Bill, that's like saying that when you lift something flat off the ground, like if you've got something with a big surface area, it should be nearly weightless once you get it off the ground. Like that sheet of board over there, for example, if you lay that down flat and you lift it off the ground an inch, then that should be nearly weightless, because theoretically it has 14.5 psi of atmospheric pressure under it all over, and multiply that by an inch. The force to lift, the actual lift force it's got, is less than the weight of the board. Has that occurred to anyone? Do we believe this? It's absolutely correct. I'll let you think about that for a minute. That's right on the story. It's right on the list of topics like yowies and things like that we discuss from time to time on this channel, and yeah, may or may not be true. But there you go, something to think about. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't see it. That's what I was looking for. This is a section of the ristle, so it gives you some idea how big it is. Oops. That's the sort of casting we're looking at. And what you could do is gank it in brass with open ends. That's another way that it could be done, is cast as a tube with open ends and put plates in it afterwards and solder them in. Or silver solder the plates in at the end afterwards. And that would give us a much easier way of casting it too, but we're still thinking about that. But yes, Peter, that's full size. That's sort of what we're looking at. So why make it so big? One, this is a Great Northern Railway whistle, the drawings. So we know it works. Because I'm a size queen, there we go. Disregard that. I shouldn't say that in live stream. One, this is got a proven record, this design, of actually working and giving reasonable tone and reasonable sound. Now, audio vibrations don't scale well. So scaling this down is going to give you some characteristics we don't really understand. But that's full size to give you some idea. They probably had 150 psi to play with. If this doesn't work on the sawmill, we've got a steamroller that's got 200 psi in it. So honestly, your argument's invalid. Chirpy, that's a valid point. Thank you for that. What we could do is TIG weld it with some bronze alloy. That's another thing you could do if you want to put ends back in it. We could TIG weld something in with copper or brass or bronze or something. But yeah, whistles seem to work pretty well on lower pressure, so we'll have a look. You never know till you never try. That's exactly right. So watch this spot, because in all my spare time in the next 12 months, we might end up with a whistle that looks something like that. So that's the update on the whistle. Right? The valve system's very good in this, and I believe the design's also pretty reasonable. So it's probably, if we make it to scale, it'll probably work. But we could also make it up out of pipe and steel. Chirpy says it's easy to cast. I've got all this stuff down here that I've got to find somewhere to do, and I'd like to make a wooden box, like a plywood tube, like 3-sided with a couple of dividers in the front, about 150 millimeters square, something like that. Nigel, good day. So I'm going to make a square box about that tall, I guess. Sort of bench height, something like that. No, probably not. It probably only needs to be about 600 tall. So it's tall enough so it doesn't fall over. James P, good morning. Because down here, we've got this box of stuff. It's all useful things. There's some drills. Anyone who wants a Christmas present for anyone, I'll put this over here so we can see it. But I haven't sold this, which is surprising, because everyone needs this sign. It's one of those signs that it feels like everyone needs. You didn't know you needed this until you saw it, because everyone's got a place to put it, and it's just as relevant in anyone's shop or anyone's house. So this is for sale for Christmas. If you're interested, hit us up. I think it's awesome. If it doesn't sell, I'll probably put it up on the wall here or somewhere. If you had hair, you wouldn't need it. You'd probably. Peter, we're on to that. Let's have a look at that. So this pile of stuff, right? This is all stuff that we need somewhere to keep, because this is all welding filament and filler. I've got no idea what it is, but that feels like it's probably I think that's steel wire, and that's steel TIG wire as well. This here, that's copper coat steel wire. I don't know if that's even much good now. It probably is. Some of this is just bar stock and stuff. That's silicon cast iron. If anyone who's doing a cast iron repair and wants a couple of sticks of that, I've got some. It's a nice rod. That's a very nice filler rod. TIGs in beautifully. Not bad with Oxy too if you've got a decent flux with it. You don't want like a tinning flux. You want a decent cast iron flux. But that's, I think it's 5mm cast iron. this here it's 1.6 mil Tobin bronze, probably. Mark, I'm just putting this out here. If you're going to repair that winding forward drum, there's about 5 kilos of 5 mil bronze. Yeah, Bill, it is that long, probably. But there's plenty of bronze there. There's some 316 stainless filler rods, a new box nearly. And some Comweld aluminium. And some 1.6 silver. Cadmium free. Actually, that's 3 mil silver solder brazing alloy. Unlikely to ever need that. I've also got about 5 kilos of 1.6 silver. So anyway, if you decide to weld that and you want to put pieces in it, and you've got a heat source enough to actually get it somewhere near hot to preheat it and keep it warm and to flow some of that in, there's plenty here. So brazing is probably the easy way. This cast iron's really nice, but generally on lighter stuff, getting everything hot enough to diffusion weld cast iron is, in a big casting, is pretty hard work. If you're welding the side back in a piston or something, or a cylinder liner, it's a really good product. But anyway, that might save you $500 if you decide to go that way. Just saying. It'll still cost you that much. But if you decide to go that way, 3 or 4 sticks of that would probably do it, and you don't want to be buying 5 kilos of that stuff. That's why I saved this. When we cleaned out Dad's shed, I saved. That's my welding consumable stack. Anyway, Raymond, g'day. Nothing soft enough for rivets. Oh, there's some aluminium there, but you can pick that up anywhere. You can get that at Bunnings. Raymond, to answer your very impertinent question, this is not another project. So there you go. I'm just putting that out there. There we go. Mark's right. Work too much and don't spend enough time in the shed. Same as I should work a bit more often. I spend too much time in the shed probably. But yes, Chirp, you still just need enough heat, and you need enough heat to keep the thing hot for 24 hours. You want it pretty warm. Just an interesting valve cycle and stuff, and I was interested in that engine, Raymond. So that's that. What else? Using filler words. Here's another thing that we really need to make, because this one's been chopped off at some point in the past. $10 points for knowing exactly what this is, but this is the oldest thing in this room, probably, almost. Yeah, almost. There's some studs and things laying around that are as old as this and this. But that's the bridle for the slide valve for the steam pump. This is probably forged, I would say, and it's a bit of a mess. If anyone wants to make up a forging, that sits over that and moves the slide valve back to front, backwards and forwards, and it's about shot. This here is the gland. Like so. I would say it's probably wrought iron. It could be forged. It could be a steel forging. Not sure. That, of course, goes inside. Excuse me. Inside one of those castings there, which is the original. There's the original, and the new one, which needs machining. And that, of course, slides backwards and forwards on top of that, which goes on the side of the engine. So there we go. So another project sitting here on the bench. I don't need new ones at all. So looking at this weekend from this point of view, and that's where live stream is really good, is because I can look at it back and see what's actually been happening. And sometimes I think, gee, I've achieved a lot. And sometimes I think, I've done nothing. This, unfortunately, is one of those weekends where I've done nothing. Don't know why, but there you go. Haven't seen anything, any owies. Haven't got caught in a flood water. I did spend one night in the back of the van, which was really cosy. Burnt some sausages. Tea and biscuits. Getting chilly there. No, it's not. It's a bit cold and miserable here, to be honest. Really a bit awful. Not a big fan. It's been raining a bit tonight, and I think Dan's at Armidale. I think you're at Armidale, Dan. I think. Armidale's a bit cold. Hopefully we get some warm weather soon, but this weekend was a bit miserable. Rained and rained more. Come further north, Peter says. Look, Peter, I'm going to have to make a trip further north at some point. On account of... Oh, look, seriously. I can't tell that story right now. There is a reason I've got to come further north. And I can't... The reason's probably a new project. Can't say that. Can't put that out there. Sorry. I'm conflicted about that. Maybe. Anyway, good video from Chirpy. I said that already, but it is a very good video. If I can find someone to keep me awake on the road, and come with me, I may come north. Because someone gave me a well pump, a Myers windmill pump with built pulley off take, and said I had to come and get it. and it's up your way. Now, it's probably functional without much work, and that's as far as it's going to be. But Fridge, I think, which is Dan, is talking about a windmill. So, of course, one materialises, or a pump for one materialises. A nice Myers pump, F.E. Myers from America. So, the trouble is, it's sort of 500 to 1,000 k's north, which isn't big on the scale, but I need someone to keep me company. We'll see. It's probably just wishful thinking. I'll just get in the car and go. Car's serviced on Friday. Car mechanics are crazy busy. I had a lot of trouble getting someone to service my car. That wasn't sort of a month behind or 6 weeks behind everyone I've talked to in the last bit. Anyway, it's booked in for Friday, which is pretty amazing. That's one job that's got to be done. See, while I was cleaning up, oh God, I've knocked over the Allen keys. I'm going to have to pick up the Allen keys now. While I was cleaning up, I found this box. This is something I started, and it's hashtag Renzetti's fault. If you want to look at what it is, if you use that hashtag, you'll probably find this. But this is another project that I made a pretty strong start on and have never progressed, mostly because I never had a mill. But nowadays I've got a milling machine, so we should get in and do this. Some very nice bits of cast iron. That's a cylinder head actually off the Bayer steam pump. So some nice bits of cast iron, some nice bits of bronze. And there's a pair of train wheels in here. There you go. I thought I had 3 sets of train wheels. Don't know what happened. So that's the 3D model, and this is proven to work because I've actually had this running on the lathe. But this is an ellipse turning attachment for the lathe. Probably it's going to go back in the cupboard, so this will be the last time you see this for about 12 months. It hurts my head too. That's another reason it hasn't really happened, is because the logistics and the interpretation of this is about as sketchy as chime whistles and our investigations, to be honest. NASA and Tesla are overcharging for old mechanics to promote EVs. There you go. Thanks, NASA. Thanks, Bill, for that. We need to look into that a bit further, perhaps, but I'm not sure about that. Bill's onto it, though. He would know. Did you hear that on John Laws? Now, speaking of which, I had the privilege the absolute privilege. Let's see if I can share a picture here, but I'm not very good at that. Today, of repairing this clock. Right, which is terrible, but I fixed it. This is a John Laws clock. Of uncertain vintage. It's old. It's been hanging in someone's kitchen because it had that much bacon grease on it. It's unbelievable. Like it was just, you couldn't touch it without some sort of, they had a good scrub with a bit of Windex for a start. Anyway, it's all going and fixed it. But there you go. John Law's clock. Those who are not in Australia probably are not familiar with John Law's, but I'm sure he has I'm sure if you rang him, Bill, with that, I guess he's still alive and stuff. If you rang him with that particular theory, you would certainly, he'd take it to the nth degree to work out whether it was true or not. Take care, Dan Biscuits. Good. Thanks for tuning in and all the pertinent questions. It's important that you keep me on your toes. I think he's still actually on the radio, Adam. I think if you tune into 2UE or any other AM radio, because we do that regularly, if you tune into an AM radio station in the mornings in Australia, I think you still get John Laws. He's kind of like one of those Doctor Who characters that are sort of, all that's left is their skin and echo of their voice in the library sort of thing, but he's still there. I think he's still alive. He retired, Stuart says. Stuart's got into the 411 on John Laws. He retired. Was retiring an option? The switch for longevity in the treatments, I bet he does. He had plenty of money. AM radio. Don't miss it. I'm not even sure if my car has an AM radio, to be honest. I couldn't tell you at any point whether it does or doesn't. But it may have, but I don't think I've ever used it. Not sure. Anyway, we've dragged this out for an hour. Honestly, not sure you've learned anything. I'm not sure I've actually shared anything. Your company has been amazing as always, those that join in the chat. Really appreciate it. It's really awesome to catch up with you all again. It's good to see a little bit of YouTube content coming through still. Good to see Chirpy's video, which was a good video as always. Who else had a video? There was a couple from Mark, which I haven't caught up with yet, but I'm going to go and watch that now. Avalon, go. Take the highway and gravel on, go for a ride in your Avalon. Yeah. Suffering from respiratory infections. He's a heavy smoker. That's probably why. How he hasn't killed him, I don't know. Anyway. Anyway, sorry about the vertical format. I still haven't got to the bottom of that yet. I thought I had it. I'm going to do a test stream probably over the weekend and see if we can get that fixed. Because it's a pain in the, you know what. Apart from that, I think I'm out. Appreciate the update on John Laws and the Yowie and the tree over the bridge and any surviving projects that might need finishing, which hasn't been a real strong sort of an update at all. Anyway, take care. Be kind to each other. There is a button to change it, but I don't know why it does that, because I changed it several times and it still moved back. I'm going to have to play with that. Bath time is better with friends. That's interesting. Take care, Stuart. Take care, Peter. Take care, Bill. It does seem to default for that. But maybe you're right. Maybe I just need to change it before I walk in, because I did set it up to horizontal, I'm sure. Anyway, I'm out. Be kind to each other, and more soon. Probably with very little content again. Really appreciate you all tuning in and catching up. Clueless beekeeping? No. But anyway, think what you like. I'm anyone to anyone, honestly. If we're going to answer that question, I'm anyone to anyone. So pretty comfortable with who I am. If you're questioning that sort of thing, it's between you and your God or whoever you answer to. But don't bring it on anyone else anyway. So I'm out. And more soon, guys.